Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're going to be continuing with the doctors today. I am sorry I did not do a video last week. I had a sudden death in the family. Had to take care of that. But regardless, now we're going to jump right in, and it's going to be chapter 14, Night Shift. Okay. See how well I can do this with my little partner getting in my way. Okay. On the other hand, Sean has stayed in the hospital all day and night as he doesn't want to go home and fight with his wife. It's never a good thing for him once they argue. He watches how Willie explains to the front desk nurse that working for Dr. Katie was not what he expected. He states that he won't be working with her in the future, but that he will continue to come to the hospital as he's more interested in working with Dr. Sean. This is when it crosses Sean's mind that Katie's loss will be his gain and takes this kid on as an accomplice. While showing him a few things and having someone to do all the heavy lifting for him as he does for Katie, all he had to do was take advantage of the fact that Willie was already eager to work for him instead of Katie. Sean approaches Willie and welcomes him to the team, acting as if he didn't know that Willie had already decided to leave. I'm sorry, Dr. Sean, but I won't be coming back. I'm not working for Dr. Katie, as it's not what I envisioned, Willie says. I'm very sorry to hear that. You have potential written all over you. Could you elaborate on what went wrong for us to justify it? I would really hate to lose your potential, Sean replies. I know, belly rubs. Okay, I just wanted to participate in the activities and get my hands dirty, but she doesn't want that. She just wants me to be her assistant and do boring work, Willie says. Completely understandable. My wife's a bit stubborn and takes this very seriously. I, on the other hand, will play to the limit of the rules. We have been fortunate to have you walk through our doors, and I think you would benefit greatly from working alongside me instead of going out in the world and ending up in here for the wrong reasons. So, would you like to stay on board and work with me instead? You can be everything you ever wanted to be and then some. The possibilities are endless as an accomplice, although I prefer the term associate. I'll show you everything there is to learn, and Katie will agree with my decision. What do you say? Will you stay? Sean replies. Willie nods in agreement, and a giant smile takes over his face. Sean looks on, knowing that he's gotten his way. Even though this could potentially end up annoying Katie, it's something that will benefit him and prove he's learning from her, taking control, showcasing his power, and using his mind for the future. Sean leans in and tells Willie that there's a corpse in his office that needs to be removed, and he could put it anywhere he likes, but for now, all he needs to do is take it downstairs. Mr. Craven will have someone come and get it. Excited, Willie heads to the office, grabs Maria's corpse, covering it up with a sheet, and places it on a wheelchair, gladly walking out of the room to take her to the basement. Just as he was about to get onto the elevator, Sean tells him to leave it in one of the rooms instead, as he doesn't want Willie to encounter the people in the basement. After removing Maria's corpse, they focus on their next patient. Earlier, Willie was able to corner and start a conversation with a patient, a man named Liam, and managed to convince him to go check out one of the rooms on the hospital's main floor. The front desk nurse is wondering why they are doing this on the main floor. Sean knows this is something Katie would never approve of. All testing is done in the basement or on the second or third floors. The office Liam entered is near the front desk, and Willie stands near the door as Sean enters, flashing a big smile at them as he winks at Willie. At the same time, he prepares a seat for Liam to rest comfortably. I've heard so many things about you and the other members of this hospital. It's a true honor to be standing here. The exterior of the hospital belies the number of rooms there are inside and how very large a facility it is. You and your wife are great members of the community and are doing an excellent job, Liam says, praising the doctors and staff. You flatter us, Liam, but there's no need for all that. Willie likes you, and that's all that matters here. Yes, the size of the hospital has always been questioned, and that's what makes it interesting. No one will ever truly know the number of rooms we use for patients and how many we use for the initiative, but we're about to see how it all unfolds and where you fit in. Are you interested in seeing how we do things here? I know Willie is dying for a first-hand show. Sean replies as Willie grabs Liam by the hand. Feeling comfortable with Willie, Liam follows him to the chair and sits down, trusting him as Willie straps him into place. Securing him into the chair, Willie places a kiss on his forehead and stands next to him while Sean walks over towards Liam with a huge smile. Suddenly, uncertainty starts to grow in Liam. This isn't funny anymore. Let me go. Willie, let me go. Liam screams as Sean closes in on him. There's nothing I can do. Nothing. Willie replies, watching on. Liam, don't worry. This will be something we can all learn from. I'm going to learn from you. Willie will learn from me, and you're going to learn your way to hell, Sean says. Please, I'll leave. I'll never say a word. Please. I know nothing, Liam begs as Willie caresses his head. Please don't beg. You'll shatter the image. Willie had of you. There's no cause for tears. You're going to be free soon enough, Sean says as Willie continues to cherish these moments. Dr. Sean, are we going to use any of these? Willie asks, pointing to the needles on the desk. Hi, baby. No, I don't want to make it painless. Then again, I don't think he deserves brutality. Yet, death only happens once. If he were to die by someone else's hands, it might as well be memorable. Sean answers, picking up the ice pick and hammer once more. Excited, Willie grabs the hammer. He is curious to see how much it weighs and wonders if he would be able to kill someone with a single strike. Even though he knows he's not the strongest person in the room, there's something about having complete control over another person that has piqued his interest and curiosity. Having seen this expression before, Sean smiles. Seeing Willie this way reminds him of a younger version of himself. While that thought makes him happy, it also brings a sadness to his heart, as many people have viewed him as weak and pathetic. Intrigued by the possibilities, Willie now looks at the ice pick and wants to do the task himself, but Sean signals him to stop. Confused, Willie thinks to himself that this will end the same way it did with Dr. Katie. That is a disappointment that he's not willing to feel once more. Dr. Sean, please don't do this. I've earned this. Don't do what Dr. Katie did and deny me such an opportunity, Willie begs as Liam looks on horrified and unsure of what to do. I'm not denying you anything. I simply wanted you to stop for a minute, Sean replies. But why? A confused Willie asks. Because utilizing an ice pick wouldn't be as satisfying for your first kill. Might I suggest choking him to death or using a knife? It makes it more personal and extremely satisfying for the first kill, Sean answers with a smirk. Willie nods in agreement, and Liam starts to scream. Willie, please, no! Liam yells. Putting the ice pick down on the table, Willie places a hand over Liam's mouth and uses the other to start choking the life out of him. Tears begin to form in Liam's eyes with the realization that there are a lot of things he will never get to see again. Looking back at Dr. Sean like a son looking for his father's approval, Willie smiles and is eager to see how well received this act is by the doctor. Looking unimpressed, Sean watches on as Willie becomes irate and puts some more power into the choke. Liam's face starts to turn blue and a sinister laugh is coming out of Willie, almost as if he were possessed. Attaboy, make me proud and put him out of his misery. Go on, finish it, Sean commands. Willie's laughing continues, leaving the doctor confused. Liam is unable to breathe and is panicking, but it appears that Willie is getting stronger by the second, and Liam can feel his life fading as he becomes weaker by the second. Just as he becomes resigned that this is it, he feels Willie loosening his grip and realizes he's staring into his eyes with a bit of sadness and regret. I'm sorry, Willie says, looking at Liam while keeping his hand wrapped around Liam's neck. I'm truly sorry, Willie continues. Liam doesn't know what to do when out of nowhere blood falls on his face and one of Willie's eyes is closer to his face than it was a few seconds ago. His grip releases Liam entirely, and Willie collapses on the floor. Liam is frozen in place, left in a state of shock as the man he thought was interested in him is now dead on the floor by another whom he thought was someone of honor. Pity. The boy had so much potential, but he truly was weak. He should have listened to my wife, Sean says, looking at Liam. Toying with Willie's eye, Sean pulls the pick out from behind Willie's head and puts his right eye up to Liam's left eye as he continues to mock the fallen Willie. Afraid to react in any manner, Liam tries to remain as calm as possible, hoping to earn some respect and trust from Dr. Sean. He feels that the only reason the doctor killed Willie was because he had no respect for him. Liam, don't be afraid. This wasn't your time. This was Willie's time. He disrespected me, the hospital, and my wife. There was no way I could let him live, Sean says. So, I'm going to live? You have my word that I'm not going to say anything to anyone, a scared Liam replies. Honestly, it won't make a difference if he did. They wouldn't come after me because of my immunity, but it's comforting that you would reassure me that you're not a snitch. It truly is, Sean says, untying Liam. I hate snitches. I can keep a secret. I kept one for almost 20 years, so your secret is safe with me, Liam replies as he stands up from the chair. Honestly, it's okay. It's not a secret. In fact, I was surprised to see you walk in here at all, with this place being a place of torture and with this being a place where torture and murder is allowed. But go on, please. It's late, and I need my rest, Sean says with a laugh. Slowly walking away from the doctor's side, Liam continues to keep his eyes on the doctor because he now knows he can't trust anything he says. He gets to the door and tries to open it, but to no avail. Confused, Liam turns around, looks at Sean, then faces the door and tries to unlock it again. He hears the lock moving and tries again, but still the door will not budge. Not moving and allowing Liam to continue, Sean keeps his distance. He doesn't want to frighten Liam any further, but the more Liam tries, the harder the knob appears to get. What the F is wrong with this door? Liam screams, bringing a smile to Sean's face. Putting his phone on the table, Sean steps away from it and walks toward the window to take a better look at the sky. The phone is giving an alert message of a security breach, but Sean ignores it. The noise captures Liam's attention, and he stops messing with the door. He looks back at Sean, who is calmly standing by the window, not saying a word. This makes Liam uncomfortable. What is going on here? Why isn't it opening? A concerned Liam asks. Check the phone. It will tell you everything you're looking for. There's nothing I can do now. It's out of my control, Sean answers, leaving Liam unsatisfied with the response. Looking at the phone, Liam sees that the security breach message and doesn't understand how that's possible. They're there, and no one has sent an alarm. Trying to make sense of it all, Liam goes near the door with Dr. Sean's phone in hand. He looks at the message once again, this time seeing a small arrow underneath the message. Pressing on the arrow, another message appears, and this time the message reads, "You're out of time." It fades away just as he looks up and sees Sean coming straight at him with an ice pick in his hand. As Liam tries to gather himself, Sean goes for Liam's eye with a pick, but Liam raises his hand in time to protect his eye. The pick pierces through his hand and nearly catches his eye as well. He winces in pain as he tries pushing Sean away, but he's not strong enough, and his survival instinct hasn't kicked in yet. Realizing how weak Liam really is, Sean feels he has this in the bag and kicks Liam in the gut. Liam drops to the ground, freeing his hand in the process, and tries to catch his breath. He looks up to see the pick coming at him once again, and once more he raises his hand, receiving another puncture in it. Wincing in agonizing pain, he looks up at Sean, who this time strikes him with a punch to the right, knocking him flat up against the wall. See, it's not so bad when you listen, Sean says, grabbing Liam by the hair. Please, Liam replies as Sean slaps him, trying to get a reaction, but Liam remains quiet. Damn, you just took the fun out of it. Guess I'll have to do it quickly, Sean says. Holding Liam's heavy head in place, Sean jams the ice pick through Liam's right eye, piercing his brain. As he watches Liam die, he wonders how challenging Armageddon will truly be, since he's starting to feel that he's coming into his own. Sean, however, does feel uneasy with a single-handed kill and tries to reach his wife to share his experience. She's not picking up. She's probably still mad at him, since he has no idea how long it will be before this mood passes. Sometimes she stays mad at him for days. He decides to stay in the office. There's no sense in going back to the house and dealing with an upset wife. Besides, he will have to take care of this mess before they start seeing patients in the morning. Okay, so that's the end of chapter 14. Next will be chapter 15, and that's called Turning Point. Okay, and I will be continuing. I'm going to be doing separate videos for all of these just to make it easy on everyone. So I'll be going in again in a minute. Going again in a minute. But okay, see you guys next time. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, comment down below. You know, same thing. See you later.